Alright, let's get this show on the road. Hope everyone's having a wonderful Tuesday. My opponent should show up for my Eternal match very shortly. We talked about it a little bit ago. But you know, I figured this was a... we'd been overdue for this Eternal match, and I figured, hey, we talked about it, I think, last week. Might be fun to do some more Eternal during the stream. Oh, thanks, Cinderin. Yeah, for those of you who didn't see it, Cascadia, which was, I think, West Coast Nats for the U.S., occurred this last weekend. Was it Nats? I don't think it was. I think it was just an NANPC event, actually. It got 54, 52, somewhere in that range of people. Okay, it wasn't Nats. Fantastic. And I did commentary for it both days. I missed one round on Saturday, and then one round had laptop melting level 56 players. Thank you, Cinderin. I should probably know that. Laptop graphics card melting level difficulties. Then round one of day two had similar issues, but it eventually got kind of sorted out by the middle of the day. I did about half of day two, and then Andre and Peter rounded out the other half of that one, and they had both helped. Peter was a champ and did all of the game commentary on day one. Sam stepped in for a round as well when I needed to actually eat some food because I had forgotten to do it during my break because I was on a call with family and stuff. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was great to see high quality in-person Netrunner play. Yeah, really, it showed, Sako is very good at the game. It was definitely felt like there was a couple lines where he drew bad and it seemed like his opponent had a chance, but couldn't quite make it connect, which is, the world champ diff. But yeah, I figured after this we would play whatever his most recent published AgInfusion deck was, and I can try and start to learn the ways of playing Ag, because it's a good deck and it's a very different style from what I usually play. But yeah, while we're waiting here for my opponent to show up, a conversation I've seen batter, knocked down in a couple of spaces, and I'm kind of curious to what, there's not a ton of you here right now, but I'll ask anyway. Sort of a thing I've been pondering about. I think it's mostly because Startup isn't a beloved format right now, but we've been seeing a lot of these large events do Throwback as their side event on day two for all the people who didn't make the top cut, rather than Startup. And I'm kind of curious as to how people feel about that. And when Throwback was originally done, they had a carefully curated ban list for it. And I don't know, it was the more recent, there hasn't been quite a consensus on what Throwback should be. Should it be, the cards were banned at the time? Should it be a custom curated list? Should it be basically no bans, which I think is what they did at EMEA? I'm kind of curious how much people want to are interested in that. It also brings me in mind a conversation that was happening in the GLC Eternal Discord. I think it was last week, a little bit after my stream. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. Where we were talking about what's the goals of Eternal. Yeah, Syndrome, that's my sense, is that, you don't actually need the entire card pool for Throwback to be interesting. And removing some obvious decks is probably okay. But I'm not sure if everyone agrees on what those are, and so I'm would you have to iterate a few times? Yeah, I would imagine Accelerated would need to get banned. I think there was like, but like, I think it's the like, if I wanted to make a ban list that was like, I think that one thing is, was it previously banned is actually not a super opaque, or it's actually a fair, it's not super clear because we don't have a single database. I mean, NRDB does have it, but I don't think it's that well documented or that easy to look at, which is kind of like, you know, and maybe we'll, do I have my notepad thing here? I don't. Let's add a notepad, right? I think this is a window capture that I have. Yeah. Excuse me. Oh shit, what did I pull up? Sorry. Okay. Okay, because it's like, if I have to think about, like, what are the things that people... What was this doing? Oh, do I have a weird crop on this? I must. Well, we're just waiting for my opponent to show up, so... we'll get to that pretty soon, but... I don't. That's very weird. That's kind of odd. Anyways, but I'm thinking, like, okay... So we're thinking throwback bands. We could go back to the original one. What is the URL again? It's something like sometimesberunning.com. It's just the redirect that someone got to the always be running URL. I want to go back and find the original hemophilia charity tournament and look at what that ban list was. Let's see. Oh man, this is going to be a bear to look up. This is an online event, right? Or is that not a filter here? I think there was more than Moon's DLR and blackmail. I think there was more stuff. Let's see if we can find the... I think it was like Siphon, but maybe I'm misremembering. But like Moons, I think is an obvious one. Oh, okay. DLR, blackmail. It wasn't breaking news. It was something else. How do you look up players on Always Be Running? Because like that's actually an easy way for me to look up if I can find myself, and I don't want to try and do the login. Cinderin, what like this link? I mean, so this is the URL. Oh, this is the URL I'm completely covering up. Oh, that's now not legible. Oh, let's see. That's interesting, Augustus. My sense is that Moons... I wonder if that's people under-optimizing for Moons. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe... I don't know if people are playing Moons in Ob, which is the other place I would look for it. Because it's not that much influence, right? Hey, Lazy. Yeah, apparently, unfortunately, my opponent maybe isn't going to make it. We talked about it a couple hours ago, but we'll see. 'Cause, like, it's only 2 influence to play this in Ob. That's interesting that wasn't, like, overwhelming. Let's see if we can find it. Netrunner, hemophilia, charity. Ocarina. Oh, wow. Okay, this is 2023. Okay, so if we maybe do, like, 500 and now look for charity. There we are. We got there. We got there. Wonder if this link still works or not. Let's find out. Probably not. Yeah, this was one. I was real proud of my throwback decks. I can't believe I lost 2 games with this deck. This was a silly deck. What's the change? Oh, I think it's like cut the restore for another piece of ice, because I don't think I ever play the restore. And the text startup probably can go too. Oh, no. That's a bummer. Okay. Looks like that's all lost to time. What the actual bans were. By all lost to time, I mean, I'm going to have to go bug Eric later. Yeah, I'll ask Eric directly. I actually think you probably have to ban Film Critic. We'll call this OG and then question mark. New throwback bans. Oh, it might. That's a good question. What was it? I'm not used to doing. This is all the pivoting netrunner that we go for, right? Pivoting netrunner. Okay. The riveting, that's the word I was looking for. Wonderful. Using the 2909 with the additional bands of Deadly Reversal, Blackmail, and Estelle Moon. Oh, there was not a 4th card. Okay. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, so new throwback bans. I actually don't think you need Blackmail. I think DLR probably. So like, let's list the targets, right? This would be probably Essa, Seb, and it's just become like maybe even Hosh. Maybe they can't protect it, but I feel like they'd find a way. And we also have Katorga Breakout, DLR. Yeah, I know there was a DLR Essa at Cascadia. I heard it did pretty well, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I mean, like, there is that point, Augustus, of, like, you know, probably the way, like, I think the goal here was, like, let's not make the format super toxic. And maybe in practice, DLR isn't actually that good, but I think, oh, the story that was told to me was that, Wentagon played someone who thought they were showing up to a startup event because the venue had forgotten to update the event type, and played a player that was like a local but did not know about the Netrunner scene, and showed up to round one with a startup event and got milled out in 5 turns, I think was the number I was told by DLR ESA. And to me, that suggests that maybe DLR ESA is not... A 5-turn clock is a little bit obnoxious. And, like, I'm sure there were misplays and stuff in there because it was a new player. But, you know, it's something. I actually think you have to ban Film Critic. Because it's either Film Critic or Pinhole, their interaction. And I don't know that people would spot this, but Film Critic Pinhole means that effectively no agenda can be scored, and I think if you want to make this your deck, you can totally do this. Like, you don't need to, like, say, oh, I'm never gonna run, but yeah, playing Pinhole, and then you can access the agenda, and you can then Film Critic it because of how Pinhole is worded. I think is probably not fun dynamics. What else? I don't know. From people that have been playing it, maybe we can go back and what is it? Sometimes be running. Yeah, here we are. People that prepared for EMA where that was legal were very aware of the combo. Basically, the entire field was killed as a result. Yeah, and to me, that's not... Like, maybe, like, it's probably balanceable, but is it fun, or is it Netrunner? I think is the thing that, like, I want to try and... Like, to me, that would be the goal of a format like this, right? Is not like, oh, can you make it 50-50? It's, can you make this something that resembles Netrunner? Do you know if it ended up on ABR, Augustus? If the Startup Side Tournament EMEA side events, Companion Cube Draft to EMEA, Fly to EMEA, doesn't look like it made it onto the thing, unfortunately. Unless people claimed here. Doesn't look like it. I'm trying to think what other stuff. Let's like... Because like Blackmail had to be banned because Blackmail Val is just unpleasant. Ah, here we are. Oh, right. This was the deck people were talking about. This is Chairman Hero Kill Combo Ob. So you use Chairman Hero, which you tutor from your deck using Mavirus. And then you can do the Biotic Labor, Mutually Assured Destruction, end of the line kill combo. Like, it's funny, because this definitely loses to some tech, like, quite a lot of tech, but it's very cool. Yeah, Eater Knife is actually a big one that I've seen a lot. I mean, this isn't Grinder. This is just like, I'm gonna set up and go. I think the idea is like Urban probably just won't stick, and you're just trying to like grind them out. But yeah, I suspect this deck could be optimized a little bit more, but it's an interesting idea at least. Alex often killing by turn 5. That's cool. What does CTZ do with Throwback? Let's see if we can spot it. 3, accelerated diagnostics. This accelerated diagnostics was not banned. Executing hell actions. While it had mixed performance on the day, it exceeded expectations, but only play accelerated diagnostics a grand total of 14 times. With an installed ICOF featuring a single advanced mechanic. Click 1, AD, seamless launch, advance, scoring, IP out early. Also put 2 agendas directly into archives. Cool. Yeah, like there's no actual putting things back here, right? This is actually just pure value AD. Yeah, accelerated diagnostics, and this is one of those things where I'm like, I think you probably ban accelerated. It's let's just say why, like into the line interaction. AD and scene list does seem like a non-bo to me. I think this is just CTC having some fun. Click 1 AD, RLC, sudden commandment, score an off-roll from hand. That's kind of sick. So, Anarcho, the theory I've seen on a potentially bad AD list, and let's like just make this for fun because I'm gonna give my eternal opponent a few more minutes to show up, but it's something like we play like Near Earth Hub or something. Corporate Hospitality would have been fun with AD for sure. Oh, that's a good shout out, Big Bonkel. It's like you use something like federal fundraisings and end of the lines. Can you do 2 and then accelerated diagnostics? Yeah, so it's not mill drawing your entire deck, it's using federal fundraising to go and set up. But the other thing is that actually Spin Doctor to set up the AD end of the line does work because it's just 2 cards, right? So you can mill out your entire, draw your entire deck and then Jackson back or Spin Doctor back as long as you play correctly. And then we just play a bunch of agendas you don't want to touch, really. And, like, is this better than, like, Reaper NEH? Probably not, right? Is it less interactive than Reaper NEH? Probably. Oh, God, we still have 6 influence, so we can still do stuff like 2x wage workers. Oh, and we can do Mindscaping also to help set us up. Right? Nuvem with Open Forum was the hot tech. This is a card I don't know. Wait, this is a legal thing, right? You can just do this in standard. After your match, reveal the top card of our R&D at HQ, add 1 card. Oh, Open Forum just lets you kind of set this all up. There's an epiphany on Open Forum AD end of the line too. Yeah, actually having Open Forum, I mean, like, to me, I would rather do something like this. To me is probably more robust. Or maybe actually Mindscaping might only be a 1-of if you have the Open Forums. And then we can fit in a wage workers too, because I love me wage workers. I kind of wonder you have to ban HHN as much as it pains me to say. Oh, because of Oppo and HHN. Maybe. It's actually a lot of money for the Corp, I feel like, to fire both of those. But I could be wrong. I could definitely be wrong. I'm trying to think what else. Um, oh, I think there's like an Out of the Ashes gets a side eye. Just because, like, I don't know, Deep Dive seems like so clearly, I really want to play DDoS Mercury in Throwback, but alas. Is that an alas because you made the day 2? In which case I only have so much sympathy. I feel like Ashes and Eater Knife is where I want the power level to be at. That's actually a fair point. Yeah, Eater Knife is like a really good tool. It's actually why I like the Crucium in CTZ's list a lot, because Crucium beats Eater Knife as a very nice little tech piece. Because then just Unice and a Crucium make them have to have a very different plan. Yeah, let's go look at deck lists and see what else. Let's see. This is probably going to be... Oh, no, this is... Throwback, Cascadia. Oh, and we're just playing 3x to count Siphon. Okay, sick. And then splashing 3 trick shots. That's very funny. Almost a win at Throwback. The infinite click combo, the goal is to use Surfer and Pisha Sao to get infinite clicks, then win the game with conduit runs. Wait, but that doesn't work. How do you make infinite clicks with Pisha Sao? Because it bounces back to your hand every time. Don't you have to use Diana's Hunt? Oh, okay, there it is. There it is. I was going to say. Okay, yeah. So you Diana's Hunt to do this. My Furication over Diesel. My sleep deprived ass was thinking Mystic Miami synergy. That's very funny. Yeah, surprisingly standard legal card, Diana's Hunt. The first instant identity follows Complete Image Chronos Protocol. Oh yeah, because Complete Image is just legal. Involved an in-the-group double Peaches out turn that involved me getting to the entire combo so that minus Diana's Hunt unless you threw half my deck looking for the second copy. First was trash from a Scorched Earth. Drawing all but 5-ish cards from 7 or 8 clicks and way too many stalls, ended up being 2 or 3 draws away, and then might with everything on 2 ice, but no way to actually go infinite, and then died. In the groove. Oh shit, that reminds me of a thing I have to go and test in play testing. Don't worry about it. In the groove being a playtesting target's never a bad sign. Anyway, let's go back to Fourth of Cascadia. Clear IG. Okay, we're just playing IG. Sick. Everyone loves an IG. This is just punitive Counter-Strike out of IG with a clearinghouse. Oh, God. Kakarembo is a very good IG card. Let's see if I can remember how to ban a bot. I should probably give some of y'all mod status so that you can ban bots for me. All right. Okay, let's keep going. Noise. Okay, yep, we love me some noise. Nothing about this actually seems too gross. Oh, hey, Beeblum. Great to see you here. Yeah, Almaku if I serum is too slow. That makes sense. Should be on 3x Banhar. Yep. Didn't even use the mid-seasons. Okay, do we see any other... I guess how do I... This is the thing that I never know how to do. Like, if I just say throwback in here, is this going to find me other stuff? Oh, it will. Fantastic. This is fun. Oh, yeah. Even just playing Corporate Hospitality YDL in CI. Genuinely, I do either CI needs more points or YDL needs points in Eternal. And I think you probably just give them to CI. But maybe you give them to YDL so that you let other more honest CI decks keep going. But yeah, I mean, this looks honestly not that far from like the one I'm playing in Eternal. You just score an Elvigar. Okay, this is doing some real silly shit though. That's very funny. Yeah, I think that is kind of the problem. Is like, let's go and find my CI list. Nope, that's not my CI list. Let's go and filter for Eternal. So I'm on 7 points. I'm spending, because Wage Workers is not a point yet. So CI is only 2. And I'm like throwing 2 points on Jackson Howard. Which like the deck could give up easily. I think the Project Vacheron going up in points could be fine too. As to also hit the Game Changer decks a little bit. Because my general sense in Eternal right now is that runners are pretty behind. And so you just want to like tap some stuff. But yeah, like this CI deck has a lot of points to spare. And you probably also have... I haven't looked at the Brain Rewiring deck as much. But I think that has points to spare too. Anyway, it looks like unfortunately the Eternal match we were going to play, the other person got busy. They have a small kid, so I think that's likely the cause. So we'll just play some standard. Let's go grab Sokka's Ag and get some Netrunner going. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think about if Throwback should have a bit more of a formal structure to it. I'm kind of curious what people's thoughts are going to be. This is not like the most efficient way to find this stuff, but it usually is. Just how I'm used to doing it. We'll cut the toll booth for something. I'm not sure. Is it for the... yeah. Okay. I just started typing Sokka because that's just where my brain was going. Okay. So, oh, this is... Okay, we have to find a more recent list from Sokka. Okay. Yeah. That's like, I was like, why does this have banned cards in it? So, okay. Oh no, he doesn't have this published. Does he? Wait. June 27th. West Can Nats. Did he play the ICC? And I just didn't. Okay, we're gonna have to go to Null Signal Games. Sokka AgInfusion. No, let's go. Oh wait, this Null Signal Games Intercontinentals. No. Where were the deck lists? I know there was an article that had the deck lists in them. Where were they? What the heck? Because it should be before all these recaps. Or like at. Was it in this article that I missed? Ah, why am I losing my mind here? Does anyone know where these are? I want to find a public list. Yikes, what the heck? Where did they end up? That's so weird. I know that there was an article on them at some point. Yikes. Okay, well, this is probably the closest we're gonna get. Oh, you know what? They're on tournament.nullsignal games. That's where they are. Okay. More tournaments. Enter. How do I see even more tournaments though? Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna do something in another window. Hold on. I'm just gonna go log in from the NSG account. But I don't want to do that on stream, just for a variety of reasons. And look at my tournaments, and then... Oh, okay. What? Did it get deleted? Do I have to go into the OP server? I'm so confused. Tournament ID 3487. Okay, let's just click on one so I can... Okay. 3487. That's so weird. On my other browser here, I have it as having 0 players in it. I don't know why. That's wild. That's going to be an interesting thing to bring up with that team. Okay. Cool. We can play this. Excuse me. This will be a pain to import, probably. Oh no, super easy to import. I was looking for Sokka's deck, Cinderin, and I didn't want to use his deck from Cascadia in case he didn't want that published. There definitely is part of me that feels like next year, and this is not going to be a policy. This is just me thinking about the policy out loud. So I shouldn't say it then, if it's not going to be the policy. Never mind. I am hoping that next year, because there's more competitive events, people will be just more incentivized to just display their decks and kind of brag about them. And I'm also hoping that, like, with more tiers and more tangible rewards for good performance, that people will bring better decks to lower level tournaments. I think if you're extremely, extremely good, like, you know, if you're Sokka level, if you're Augustus Caesar level, like, you don't need to play what you think are the best decks at all points in time to probably do very well. But yeah, I think at least for events NSG runs, something we might consider is saying if you make it into the top cut, your deck list becomes public. Because, like, practically for us, it is easier to do. And it's like, it's almost harder for us to make it, like, public temporarily for the top cut and then ensure that it stays closed. And, you know, that encourages other TOs to just by default say, I'm going to publish this if you don't publish it by X date. I wouldn't hate that, but I don't think it's going to be a policy as I think about it more. But yeah. We'll play some Ag. I have not... It's funny, like, this AgInfusion is very clearly quite good. And I just have not actually seriously thought about playing it. So, you know, I think Sokka played it very well. I don't think I will play it that well. But we can make some attempts at least. And it's... like, it feels like it's a straightforward game plan and just a very efficient one. So we're going to have to think about... I don't know, it was one of those interesting things where I started talking about... like, on stream, we started talking about, like, oh, when Sokka's playing this list, he's not saying, where do I need to put the ice this turn to solve my problem? Where do I need to put the ice so that it is good in a couple turns? I think that's a very interesting, like, it reminded me that that's the thing I should be doing. Alright, so this is an opening hand. Okay, that's a little bit better. Do I just full send it R&D here? I feel like I maybe do. I want to try and minimize the trick shot value, but... we just hope that we're going to hit the bacterial, not the off-world, but of course not. Yeah, Beeblum, I think that's like a thing that, like... I think it was something when I was better at the game, I was better about doing, but I think it's like one of the myriad ways I've just become a lot worse, is I have not been thinking about that as much. I've been being much more reactive in how I play Netrunner. So that's like part of how it's been manifesting for me. Charlotte's 2 to trash. Yeah, I think I'm okay having my opponent spend 2 to trash here. Parisha's a bit of an unusual install here. I guess it's just to get hand size. That's fair. It's not a wonderful draw here. I do think border control belongs on server 1. I think it can look something like border control in server 1, spin doctor in server 1, click for a credit. I guess the challenge with this line is if Disc Elemental goes for the Tatubola red, like challenges HQ, I'm suddenly in a bit of trouble. Alright, so we're seeing a pressure spike come down. Are we going to run server 1? We are not. So, would have been nice to get a second Rashida off. Yeah. Okay, I think we can sprint and put some bacterials away. Apparently we can. This might be too much in the remote, but I'm kind of curious to see how it goes. I'm trying to keep the Seisenton in hand here just for the swap, basically. Like, I'm not putting pressure on my opponent, so I was expecting them to not run, which now actually means I get the Subliminal, which feels like a very nice piece to get here. Yeah, because now I get to go Subliminal. Oh, actually, maybe I'm supposed to Hansei the Subliminal, which I think was actually the point of that turn. Let's sequencing draw here. And then we're just going to put the Lacosta in server 1 here. Next turn, if Disc Elemental doesn't run, I think it's probably something like... It might be something as simple as Hansei the Seisenton. Maybe it's not, though. This server isn't actually that taxing yet. Okay, so do I want the Rashida or the Nisei, or do I actually not want to put anything in this server right now? Hmm. 13 credits. The server currently costs 9 to res. So I actually can't res the server if it really goes here. So we're going to click to draw. I think I'm gonna click to draw again here. Probably Hansei review the Tatubola here. It's not actually putting a threat, which is probably gonna let the runner get even more control here. But I don't feel like my road's actually in a place where it's doing anything yet. It's not going to ask the runner to provide any particularly extraordinary tools. Just getting an echelon is going to solve this problem. Seeing that this revolver actually makes this Saisentan Nisei Mark II line look a little more interesting. And they'll actually have cards in hand as well. I think I actually click for a credit here so that I can afford to throw out 2 cards to an Anoetic Void. This revolver probably does go down. We'll see. Okay. Question here is, what do I want to do with this overclock Saisentan stuff? Thinking. I wonder if this is the run that I Anoetic Void. Because none of my ice is particularly taxing here. I think it's probably, I think it might be res this Saisentan. We'll name event. Because this will at least pinch the overclock credits a little bit. Okay, so we're just getting a unity down. That does change how I want to play this a bit. I think I actually don't need to res the border control here, because I'm not actually going to end up taxing credits here. I'm going to end up taxing revolver counters. Okay, so what did we hit? Trash's Clot, Trash's Cupulation, Trash's Pinhole, and Palangi. And then we res the Void. And we'll Trash's Subliminal and La Costa. I think I'm not going to res the Tatubola here. Let's see if they can rip the Bacterial. That would be sad, but if they do, they do. Okay. Pinhole, Pinhole. And they rip the Bacterial. Okay. No discards here. We will move Bran, Hansei Review. Bacterial. And then we're going to do... So I actually get to... I can score this Nisei next turn, but I don't think I'm actually going to. So we're going to go Nisei Mark II, Nisei Mark II, Anansi La Costa. I think what we're instead going to do is mandatory draw here. Ponce review the La Costa. Let's see. Oh, if I put the Anansi on top, I could. I mean, I could put the like Anansi on Archives and the Brain on HQ. I think. All right, so we still have the Pinhole threading live. No. But this kind of kills the Pinhole threading. So now we subliminal, advance, 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 and score. And we can also now put this brand on Archives too, and I think that boops into the Seisenton. And I think next turn is Credit Hedge, install Nisei Mark II actually. Is it actually though? Let's see. What blows me out? Like a simul chip kind of kills me, right? Yeah, any steal here is death for me, which is not a great start. I think maybe I actually needed to draw more than shove here. I also think Disc Elemental is playing this matchup very well. Yeah, I think it's just take a credit here. And I might end up using the Nisei Mark II counter on the Pinhole threading, but I think that is okay because it's going to chain into the next Nisei Mark II counter. I don't particularly need the second one. If Disc Elemental has 3, Disc Elemental has 3. But this makes it much more challenging for him to contest my server here, which I think is the point of this idea. Okay, simul chip coming down, so we're gonna play the revolver game. Yeah, having all my agendas in hand is definitely not ideal here. I wonder if I'm supposed to have tried to set up the bacterial score instead. But there's only... Holy crap. Wow. Okay, well, losing on 4 accessed cards is tough. That's so funny. I think that was one of 3 agendas left in the deck, right? There was 1 back pro, 1 send a message, and was that the only one? Would have scored a deep dive. Sorry, another Nisei Mark II. So not sure if it would have worked in the end, but an interesting line. Yeah, there's only... Okay, yeah, 1 agenda left in the deck. Yeah, wow, that's wild. We drew and we shuffled back 3 agendas with sprints, I think, too. So that's tough. No, but 2 in hand. Was going to res the Anansi on HQ just to turn off Steve. I mean, the deep dive loses to boop and counter, and like you start to actually hit problems thing. But yeah, I don't know. It's like Disc Elemental had some nice lines, but like they got to play for the deep dive here because they stole 2 agendas and 3 accesses, which happens, right? You know, I think one of those was post. I think I basically played wrong, but anyway. Yeah, I don't. I think it's very difficult for them to deep dive in time. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's once I res 1 central ice and then have some boops, I think it becomes pretty challenging. But I definitely did not get the economy going I wanted there, so that's definitely something, and I think that's maybe something I needed to manage a bit better. This deck doesn't need to rush its setup, I guess, right? We want to play it a little bit slower. If we have a bad hand, that means it's probably a good time to draw, because the deck has a lot of weight. You know, it's playing 5 flood mitigation tools. And it's playing like 12 economy cards, so it's worth clicking to draw. Actually, no, it's playing 14 economy cards, so it should probably be good for a lot of that stuff. But yeah, I don't know. That's you know, I think I always give Glacier a bit of a short shrift, and it's like, you know, I think it's actually more my playing style that's fallen down the job here, and rolling the dice badly, I guess. But let's blame play style stuff first. Nice to see JNet is semi-alive. 10 games does mean we're going to be waiting for a little bit here, so I hope everyone's having a nice day. Yeah, I think, what else is there to talk about? Andre did a recap today of the SBT AMA, and I think he did a good job. He also, I didn't quite get to the end of it, but they did announce that there'll be a ban list update before Worlds, which is great, and they're going to try to aim for early September. So if you are a TO and interested in running events, and you want someone to help hop on comms, you know how to reach me. I'm happy to come on and help do some comms, provided I'm not in the midst of planning Worlds itself. So we'll see. Poiter asks, is AgInfusion a very hard to pilot deck? I don't know that it's hard to pilot, but I think piloting it at Sokka's level is non-trivial, I think. Hey Lucille, unfortunately my opponent, it seems like, got busy and we were not able to actually get the Eternal match in, which is a real bummer. We talked about Eternal a bit. We talked about if We also talked about like if Throwback was a more common event format, because a lot of the big tournaments this year have done Throwback for their side event rather than Startup. What should the ban list look like for Throwback? And I think we had very few cards that we feel like felt like actually need to be banned, because actually the rotation has changed some stuff. I think the ones that feel strong to me is probably Film Critic. Probably needs to be on the ban list. AD, I think, is probably also there, but maybe not that important. And DLR, we had reports of 5-turn wins, which I think is a little bit fast for what you want, but maybe it's not. Maybe, like, probably the one that is, like, I think essential to me is the Film Critic ban, because Film Critic Pinhole basically says no corp is allowed to score. I think we'll keep this. We might do like Slice and Talon HQ before and set up the Charlotte for a future turn. Just because especially now that we've drawn a second agenda, I think that's just the right call. So I think we're going to draw. Okay, Dr. Boyle is actually a fantastic draw here. So I think we might even put the Tatu Bola on HQ. Put the Saisentan on the remote here, I think. And we'll see how that will evolve from there. But Carlos, that was not actually Eric's guiding ban list principle for Throwback. The original Throwback ban list we went and found it is 3 total cards. So that was, I would not say, his guiding principle. He wanted a lot of powerful stuff in there. That said, it's also relevant that at the time there was a lot more Flashpoint cards banned. Oh, this is a weird option. I'm assuming he's going to undo. I still don't like that play. Oh, I guess Hosh brings it up to 5. Let's click to draw. I think we'll Hansei review. Feels weird to Hansei review anything in this hand. Is it the Anansi? Carmen breaks Anansi for 5. That seems good. I feel like it's maybe Hansei review the Lacosta. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Undo, click. I think this is draw again. Well, okay, and we get back to the same place, but... Oh no, I'm terrible at counting cards. Okay. I think the Charlotte can go right now because we don't have ice that sets us up. Yeah, Kronos, maybe I'm misremembering, but from my memory, if I was not like close buds with Eric at the time, my sense was he was actually trying to get something of a balanced format. And so he looked at things that were going to try and mitigate what he perceived of as balance issues, or things that would like centralize the format in a particular way. Yeah, this Banhart setup really makes me want to go and do Rashida Anansi on server 1. I should have drawn first, I think, there, but... Yeah, I think I maybe need to draw. It feels like, honestly, drawing cards in this deck feels a little broken. Because it actually is where a lot of my econ is. The opponent's playing strike funds, which is usually a good sign. Oh, you meant for Cascadia? Oh. And yeah, I think, yeah. Like, to some extent, I think, yeah, that is definitely the easy way to do it. So I don't think it's a terrible decision. I think I might be throwing out the Seisenton after Dave goes through it. Yeah, now Tatu Bola on HQ is nice. If we draw another ice, which I feel like we probably should, it can just be Tatu Bola there. This is an interesting choice. Okay. I mean, these are all good cards. I actually don't think we need the border control as much. Slice and Ton is probably the one we need the least. I feel like this isn't... no, we're going to start over. We want Spin Doctor on the top here, I think. Because I want to be able to install it. So we're going to go Slice and Ton on the bottom. Hey, Cat. I'm trying to learn AgInfusion. Which, you know, seems like something worth doing. Yeah, so I guess to make some choices now, but I think we're doing all right because the top four are all clean and we can make HQ fairly clean. And if Dave wants to run HQ, I think we come out pretty far ahead. What do you mean that's no moon? This doesn't look like Champ Stack. This is as close as I can get to Sokka's list without going and stealing an unpublished list. So, this is, to be fair, is Continental's list, but... Alright, so we're going to cycle, I guess making 5 total credits on cycling the raindrops. Yeah, it's funny, we've queued into Hosh, which is definitely not an ideal matchup. Rez, do I want to shuffle anything back here? Yeah, I think we can shuffle back a Lacosta and a Charlotte. Okay. Brand on R&D because we've seen a Stargate seems reasonable enough. Credit. Do I want the border control on the remote here? Or do I want the brand on the remote? Let's start with the brand on the remote and we can think about the border control placement. Oh no, that's wrong. This is supposed to be the border control. Reason being, if I'm in a taxing situation, I want brand on the outermost. And then the option to to boop, because I can no longer boop after the Anansi encounter here. I wonder if I can actually could have put the Nissan Mark II there, but probably not. But yeah, now if Charlotte starts going, I think we're in a great spot. If Charlotte gets pinholed, that's annoying, and then this is a state where I will definitely pop the Charlotte for 3 instead of getting it pinholed. The R&D run maybe doesn't look super safe, but is fairly safe. Next turn it won't be safe. Mayfly is an unusual Hoshiko card. And I feel like a not very good one against AgInfusion. So we're doing something funky. If we're seeing a Stargate... Wow, I get everything back. Okay. We'll add Subliminal. Take a mandatory draw. We'll Charlotte. Okay. So it's to be Subliminal. Advance. Install. The thing is, if I swap the Tatubola there, it just isn't very good. So Bones is coming down basically for La Costa, I guess. At some point, I do need to get a second ice on R&D here. Especially because I actually took myself out of the range of being able to install it. Maybe I should have just discarded, like been okay with discarding the Rashida. Because that is what was going to happen. Like, this Rashida is not being played. I want to draw here. Oh no, I want to advance this instead. Because I still don't have one of the La Costas. Because I did ditch one early, which is maybe the mistake. I do have 3 still in the deck now. Because I got 1 spin shuffle back. With this La Costa fire, I'll be down 10 credits on reses here. Another 2 on the Anoetic. And that actually is enough to go and score the Nisei Mark II. I don't think I'm super worried about the Cleaver at 12 credits. A Devil Charm might be annoying, but I think that's going to be okay overall. Because Nisei Mark II Anoetic Void is probably enough. Alright. Let's see. So probably want to shore up HQ here, but let's see how we draw. Okay, I think installing HQ, installing in server 1, advancing is okay. Opponent is on 4 credits, crew plus charm is all of their money, so they can't do that to 2 things. I can actually just let them Banhar all the way down to the Anansi and then kill. Okay, we're guinea pigging. I mean, I don't hate that, to be honest. We'll res the Tatubola and do the swap. I could not have, I think, because that would have been all 3 of my clicks, and I wanted to install an ice on HQ, so I had a better use for one of my clicks. At least that's my argument, is that installing the Tatubola on HQ was better than getting an additional 2 credits. And it kind of ended up netting out as getting 2 credits either way. And they hit the bacterial 100% of the time. Okay, so we're going to score the Nisei Mark II next turn. So we want to draw Costa and Bacterial on the following turns. And keep Off-World Office 2 turns down from that. I mean, we could put Lacosta in our hand now, but I actually don't know that we need to. So I think the sequencing is something like... So we're going to want to go... Let's work backwards. We want to draw Lacosta because I don't think it's getting trashed here. A Thimble Rig res is probably sufficient. Then, turn after that is draw Bacterial, install, advance, and then we get to do another score. So what it's going to be is we're going to put the Off-World at the bottom, then Charlotte, Spin Doctor, Hedge, Lacosta, Bacterial, Lacosta. Wait, did I just throw all of those? No. Okay. Oh no. Oh no. Sorry. I sure did. I'll just arrange manually. That is very, very funny. Okay, but this is a JNet interface thing. I never accidentally discard my entire hand there. To Bacterial and in-person play, which is where I care about slow play a lot more. Actually, that's not true. Slow play has been a problem in online events as well. Alright, so we're looking at Patchwork, Crew, Hosh, which I had pegged as a pretty good archetype. I don't know that I'm as impressed with it this game. If Dave trashes the Lacosta, I'm definitely a little sad. But the Lacosta is actually only saving me 1 click, right? Because it's going to eat the install, and it's going to cost me 2 credits instead of that click. So I actually don't know if trashing this Lacosta hurts me that much. And as I think about it, I might actually want the Swapsies ammo here. So I might actually install double advance the Bacterial. So I have a decent number of tricks here. The brand may not end up getting rezzed because we've seen one hippo. But this is going to be an interesting turn. I'm pretty sure this is safe. Hey, that's great, Cat. Maybe this deck is not just played because Sokka likes to play it, but because it's a very good deck. You forgot that Vampy doesn't really say end the run. Oh, so you just ran through. Oh, you beat Patty while he was playing Ag. Oh, okay, so the deck is just washed. That's good to know. I'll cancel the stream now. Yeah, it's like funny. Vampy is a card you don't want to run through a couple of times, but you can probably run through it like 2 times a game and not be too bad. All right, Dave 976 on 17 credits. We'll see what we can do to winnow those down. I think the Tatu Bola is actually the most important of these cards to keep in hand. I also find this is very nice for me that I'm just being allowed to gain 2 credits. I am not caring as much about the amount of money that Dave's is making. And so he's finally recognizing that that's maybe a problem. I guess maybe he might have a second crew in the bin, and that might be why he's going for this. Nope. I'm trying to figure out what the plan is here. Okay, this is a very... I did not notice the reciprocites. That's interesting. Okay, so this bacterial is safe. Remote is going to be uncontested here. So then this upcoming turn is score. I don't like scoring and then going down in credits. Oh, reciprocites as Jupstad tech. That's an interesting idea. Yes. Choose cards to discard. I actually will discard the Rashida Jaheim, I think. Then we're going to stop discarding there. Do I want to move the hedge fund? So I can go hedge fund, install Lacosta, install Offworld Office. That would require that I actually get the card off the top here. Whereas if I go... I think we play this out for 2 turns. So let's move. No, I think we can move the hedge fund because this is actually more just for. Okay. So now we do send a message. Charlotte. Spin Doctor, Offworld Office, and Nancy. Done. So next turn I can go draw, install Acosta, install Offworld Office. I don't have to worry about protecting R&D this turn, unless the Stargates come back, but the Stargate doesn't work against AgInfusion. We're going to give Dave 976 a lot of credits here. Oh, losing the spin doctor's a little annoying there. I guess I can still just click to draw, though. Draw, install advance. I'll be on 8 credits. I will need an additional 4, so I will, or additional 3, so I'll really be on 5, which is enough for the border control. So then I can res the border control, which is the outermost. I don't love that. Do I slow play this instead? I have to do some math here. How many times, if I res the border control, I go down to 5. Oh, I guess I have the Nisei Mark II counter. So we're going to go draw, install, advance. And we have some options here. Because honestly, having Dave's like just break the Anansi twice seems like a good enough way for me to win. And maybe I'm wrong here, but I think I'm like fairly safe if I am. Two clicks here. So if I res and pop border control, boop, and then the run, like the game's over. Yeah, the game is actually just over because I have 1, 2, 3 end to run effects. Okay. Okay, yeah. I mean, like, hey, when your opponent doesn't have pinhole threadings, this deck seems quite silly. So we will... I wasn't... So I can't actually fire all of the end the run effects, I guess, right? I was counting... So I was counting... You're right, I wasn't counting the second trigger of the Analytic Void as 2 end the run effects. I was saying... And I was counting Analytic Void... Nisei Mark II, and the Boop as my 3 on the runs. Yeah, these guinea pigs feel too cute. And I don't know how I feel about the Mayfly. I guess the Mayfly really is just trying to rush, but like... But yeah, you're right. Border control was pretty good there. I actually don't. I think this Hosh deck played at its sharpest is good. So what maybe we'll do is I want to try and look at how you can take this apart as the runner. Chris was running guinea pig for a while. Yeah, well, Chris is a noted guinea pig enjoyer. So, you know, we can't blame him for his terrible life choices. Yeah, I mean, like, I think you kind of just need pinhole threading to probably have a real shot against this deck, so you can go pinhole threading, run the same remote multiple times. Not being on 2 to 3 pinholes seems incorrect. Yeah, we'll have to go and see, but I'm a little surprised they decided this hand was not good enough. Especially because they mulligan into a effectively identical hand, but I just want to like think about how would I pilot the Soshiko list here. To me, this is run R&D. Diesel draw is good here. I would probably leave that Charlotte. Oh. Daves, I don't know if you're watching this. But to me, we should be installing the daily casts here, not the Carmen. This is like... I don't even know how to... I don't know why the Carmen would be correct here. If you want to go strike fun casts, I think that's totally fine. But just installing Carmen here, I don't like. If I go ice R&D, install a card, advance on server 1, you can still go run archives, install Carmen, I feel like. And I end up not doing that anyway. So now you're just out a daily cast install. Yeah, we're still not installing daily casts. We're now playing a strike fund for cash. See the Anansi, get pooped. Am I wrong about this here? Or is turn 1, I feel like you should be installing the casts here, because this is not like, you got your single, you could even just run R&D a second time, and then install and then install casts, I think. Like, this is you don't want to install your non-economic cards until you need them. But no, we should finish watching that replay. Hold on. I should just like rage quit, but yeah, I also think trashing the Charlotte doesn't make that much sense there as the runner. Like to me, the turn is you say, okay, that's a Charlotte, leave it, install cast, install Mystic, Diesel is your last click, but or maybe even just take a credit, honestly. Right? Because it's click 1 draw, click 2 run R&D, 3 and 4 is Mystic casts. And that seems like you're in a better spot, because then you draw your card and you get to play Diesel immediately. Then you get to Laundry. And like you could Laundry Archives there and install Carmen if you felt like it was needed. You'd be technically down. You still have the strike fund. Yeah, okay. So there's some economic mismanagement that honestly let me do some very aggressive plays. Like, I'm on 2 credits here. I actually wonder if running HQ before you run server 1 is better here. Because if I Resitatu Bola, that's fine. You'll just bounce off of it. Oh, okay. We do run HQ. We do it in a different order than I would have, but I don't think that matters, honestly. I'm a little surprised we're not Banharing HQ here. I'm not sure what card we're trying to protect. Oh, yeah. Booped him in the spider. Definitely matters. Oh, I should have just done that, right? Did I miss a... Oh, no, I booped him away, right? Yeah, no, I already used the boop, so you can actually run HQ here. So actually, yeah, I'm supposed... Okay, that's actually a good lesson for me as AgInfusion. Wait, actually, I have agendas in hand. That's why I res, right? Yeah, I have 5 points in hand, which is why I res. Yeah, I'm resing because of 5 points in hand. Okay. Maybe that's not correct. I'm supposed to gamble on the 5 points, but it just feels like I don't have to. I feel like, though, if I mean, like, this is probably a tell that, like, yeah, there are points, but you probably don't want to run through the Tatu anyway. I feel like I would rather take the single on R&D here than raindrops into the Tatu Bola the second time. Why is Daily Cast just not being installed? It hurts. I guess you can just break the Anansi, so it's like not that bad, but like, please tell me we're going to install it this turn where I do nothing to threaten the board. Okay, it's finally we see a Daily Cast come down. Great. Okay, now I present a threat on the board. This has to be a Charlotte. We're on 9 credits. Can you just install the Stargate here? I go to 6 if I pop the Charlotte. There's no ice in my deck that destroys you. Yeah, Ice Carver is very nice in this matchup, for sure. Hippo is also very nice. I don't know why we're installing Mayfly here. Yeah, I'm just trying to think, like, okay, if I'm playing this Hoshiko hand, I want to start putting pressure on R&D here. This is an unresed ice on 3 credits. We even have the Banhar. I feel like this turn could be... So what was click 1? It was draw. That's fine. I feel like install Stargate and run R&D looks good to me. Rather than letting me just build this up. I mean, the nice thing is I'm playing probably incorrectly here. And so it's still correct to go Stargate R&D. Because the Anansi is not rezzed. If I boop you into the Tadubola, so what? And you can start applying pressure. I'm confused now as to why we're clicking to draw. I guess we want to find an event. Mystic hits a Stargate. That's rough. So we know that's an agenda now. We grab Steve. We DJ. And now we can run HQ, I guess, safely because of Mayfly. Sure. Steal Bacterial. I resolve it incorrectly. Why are we not playing the Steel Skin that we just put in our hand, though? We should play the Steel Skin rather than click to draw. Because we have a credit on Mystic. And it's just more, like, it's just more efficient. Where we don't have self-damage here. We don't have the Patchwork installed. Right? Or did I miss the Patchwork coming down? No, Patchwork comes down later. Okay, 14 credits. Crew. This is just moshing cycle the hand. Because we're not threatening. Like, I'm pretty sure this is moshing these 3 cards. Maybe you can moshing the second crew. But I think you need to draw here more than you need to gain an extra $1. Because I'm getting a lot of stuff here. We haven't seen a leech with 14 cards left in the stack. Yeah. I mean, like, that did feel like I was pretty ahead, which is interesting. But it did feel like the runner had some opportunities to be in a much better economic position, which I think was like, I think like they had to either try and use the Stargate that they drew to stop me from just scoring out, or stay on a lot of credits so they could just run through the Anansi 3 times in a turn, and that like wins them the game. Because apparently they were not on pinhole threading, which just feels kind of like, maybe you can do no pinhole threading if Sokka's not at your meetup, but I feel like in general it's good against PD, which is still a deck. It's very solid against. I mean, like it's doesn't win you the matchup against AgInfusion, but it feels like it gives you an in the matchup into AgInfusion, or gives you an out, I guess. No, I feel like it gives you an in. Like, you have to know how to use it and use it well, but you can get there. I'm going to be right back. All right, Kat, if you want to come and beat me up, I would love to get schooled. But I know you might be lurking and just having me on in the background. I do want to try out that kind of patchwork Hosh. It might be something I do off stream, or if someone has a published version of that list, I'd be happy to take it. I wonder if Jonas published his, but both of us did kind of badly, so I wouldn't be shocked if he didn't. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'm going to NPC Montreal. That'll be it for me for the competitive season. Probably playing Asa, unless I discover that I just don't lose on AgInfusion, in which case I'll probably play AgInfusion. I could play Boring Lat. I maybe should play Boring Lat. I think I might take a break from Shaper for an event. Maybe I'll just play Eric Saya, because that felt so fun last week. And then just figure out what the tech is for the Asmari decks. I feel like I saw some other spicy tech for the Asmari decks, but I can't remember what it was. Let's actually look. It's funny. I have like been very dismissive of the Asmari deck, but haven't actually played it. So let's go and look at some of the published ones. Okay, so 3x punitive, attitude, predictive, sudden YDL. Yeah, so you can't really disrupt the economy. How does this... I mean, you're not protecting against inside job boomerang, and then you're just hoping to outmoney them enough to punitive twice. Levetnik's interesting, for sure. It seems very much like Banhart tech. And the reciprocites is like, obviously like hard counter tech. I guess it's just an auto win if you find it. Which seems fine. Like, I don't think that deck... Is it an auto win? I guess I can threaten to just score out. But, like, you can probably stop them from scoring out at some point. Yeah, I could see killing with punitive being the more reliable game plan. It actually might point to, like, yeah, you should just play Crim because you can hold a class act in hand the entire game and then play the class act the turn you have to go and break the remote. Alright. Let's get trick shotted and lose 5 points right off the top. That'll be fun. Maybe I'm supposed to have put the Anansi on R&D? I probably am supposed to have put the Anansi on R&D because I'll want to have that click back next turn. Yeah, that actually is probably already a mistake. Gamble Diesel, are we going to get the Spark click 3? Yes, we are going to get Spark click 3. It's going to hit Orca. Oh, spicy Orca. Are we going to call everything and it's going to hit 2 agendas? No, okay, it's hitting a card with a trash cost. Choosing not to trash. Do I res this Sycenton? That Kit then gets to break for 2 credits that aren't even their own credits? Yeah, I don't think so. It's funny because Lobby would be more frustrating. And now this Anansi will go on R&D, even though it's not a great card anymore. Actually, I don't know if it can go on R&D, because when they install a... Oh... Okay, so that just doesn't work on JNet, I guess. Okay, so this is gonna be... No, this is gonna be Tatu Bola on R&D, Ran on R&D, gain a credit. Hey, Cold Lava. This is not Saga's Ag from Cascadia necessarily. This is Saga's Ag from Intercontinentals. Because the Cascadia decks have not been published yet, and I did not want to steal unpublished stuff. Okay. Charlotte, yes, done. Okay, we will sprint. Install a spin, hedge fund, pass. Yeah, me too, Cold Lava. Maybe you can go bug Sokka and tell him that he's engaging in unfair play by keeping his deck list secret. I actually feel a little scared here. I actually think hitting the Orca was maybe better. Well, actually, hitting no agendas here was bad. Air Blades. I feel like you don't see that in kit very often. So I think this becomes advance, gain 3, install on server 1, advance. Hey, Supernaut. Yeah, no, the Eternal was meant to be just the start of the stream. Unfortunately, my opponent had to bail on me. So, you know, stuff happens. Okay. Thinking. Just got back from playing Paper Netrunner. Played Shoot the Moon by way of sports. Extremely fun. Felt like CI. Sick. Love to hear it. Yeah, Sports Metal has a very fun momentum to it, which makes it a great... Oh, I've been on the wrong face this whole time. Apologies, everyone. So, we're like gonna actually start taxing the Lobby counters, I guess, here. By booping here, I think. And so that should just about guarantee this back pro. And then I get to figure out how I'm going to rebuild this server. Orca is going to pose a problem for this plan. So it probably means I need to put some pretty expensive ice out and about. Do I actually want to rest the Spin Doctor? I don't think I do. Because I'm about to get a Bacterial Trigger. So I actually think the Bacterial Trigger is better than the Spin Doctor here. Let's look at the top. Okay, we're not trashing, I think, any of these. Does the rhyme get interesting here? I don't think it particularly does. So it's just going to become fuel. This is an agenda-heavy mix. This deck does seem pretty solid. Okay. So I think we can move Hansei and Rhyme to HQ, and we'll be done. Then we'll go... Do I want to take a turn off, or do I want to shove? I think I actually want to shove. So I think this is going to be something like Bacterial on the bottom. Actually, maybe I don't. We're going to rearrange these, I think. Lacosta, Nisei, Void. So next turn is draw, Hansei and Anansi, install a Rhyme, install an Anansi, I think. I guess maybe that's giving Can't Wake Jake too much credit for being able to get in this game from 2 credits, but with 2 credits on Mystic, it's like a credit gamble, and like this remote is actually just like very busted. And by busted, I just mean like dies. So we're gonna actually, we'll Hansei review the second look. Maybe we shouldn't have Hansei review the second Lacosta, but we're gonna go Rhyme on the inside, Anansi on the outside. And then like next turn is credit, install the Nisei Mark II. Oh, no, it's credit, install the Nisei Mark II advance, so that we can then draw the Nisei Mark II and install it again. We're a little shy on credits, so we're going to see, like, maybe stacking both Nisei Mark IIs was a little ambitious here. Just because it really starts to... It actually, I'm like kind of flooding myself. But scoring this Bacterial is just super gross. What are we sparking for? What's left in the deck? We're going to install the second Lobosome. Oh my goodness. That's actually big brain play. Just say, I need to reset the power counter. This is the cheapest way to get the power counter on this board state. That's actually kind of sick. Yeah, I mean, I think this is like, Can't Wake the Jake is a little bit missing the credit totals, and that is the angle of attack here. Like, I actually can't make this server that scary. If I res the Anansi, I'm not scoring right away. But if they let me have this Nisei Mark II, it gets really scary for them. Does it though, actually? It's interesting. Maybe it doesn't. I also am not sure why they're not running HQ. Maybe they're worried about that this might be punitive, but with the brand, we know it's not punitives. Yeah, so I think this ends up being some weird... the Rhyme does not matter. The Anansi cannot be resed here. So we actually only have 2 on the runs. So we're gambling a little bit here. But it's like a gamble that doesn't cost us the game if we lose, I think. But maybe I don't need to gamble here, and I could have arranged my... So this is the thing, when playing a Bacterial, I need to plan my turn sequence and my credit totals for different amounts of reses. Which I'm not probably going to do on stream, right? But... Ag, BC, and Anansi. Oh, you're right. I do have 3. I do have Ag, BC, and Nisei. Yeah, you're right. I have 3 on the runs. The thing was, like, they could just run it 3. They could just have run it 4 times with me on 6 credits. But yeah, I think they should have just run it 3 times, but it's difficult to say, right? But it's, okay, what was their starting credit total? It was not very high. Oh, 10 credits? Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, if they don't install the bones and just run 3 times, it becomes very difficult for me. Or 4 times, I guess, but... yeah, 1 sec. Oh, this was... Shoot, it was... 3487 standings. At East Coast US Nats and West Coast US Nats. Yeah, Charlotte and La Costa is a powerhouse for the deck. I wonder if I was supposed to actually... It's interesting, like, I think I rushed this a little bit, and maybe could have used Charlotte 1 more turn before I put the back pro in, just to have a little bit more of a credit cushion. But it is still difficult to know, because maybe that would have given Can't Wake Jake the time to economically stabilize. So, you know what, actually, let's go and... Let's go and look at the replay and, like, think about that. I'm just going to wait till the replay pops up. But, yeah, Sokka does probably know a thing or two about deck building. It's very clear to me, like, he is using a style that really, like, he is leveraging a lot, and he's taking a lot of time to think through his lines. Maybe someone can get Sokka to do a stream and then have him critique this game, because I don't think I played this one super well. Like, I got a win, but I don't think I did a good job, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not like, I don't know, it's very interesting here. Actually, I like this ice arrangement that I did on R&D. I like it quite a bit. But yeah, I think actually, as I think about this more, if I res the Spin Doctor and let Charlotte take another turn so I'm in the 20 credits, Like, that seems crazy, but, like, this is a 9-credit server. This is an 8-credit server, so that's 17. And then this takes me to 17 plus 5 is 22. Now, maybe I shouldn't say, oh, I need to be able to res all of my ice. But this is a deck where you probably have to think that you're going to pay 4 plus 3 plus 3. So you're probably paying 10 to advance agendas. And so if I'm giving up my main economic centerpiece that's not actually under any pressure, then I should probably be doing it when I'm very, very settled. Right? Whereas, like, here I'm doing it and I'm not settled. I do actually like the brand res. Border control is good. We score the... Yeah, it's like I'm at 6 credits here. That is very scary. Like, seeing the Hansei review obviously helps. I wonder if it's supposed to be... I think it's actually supposed to be Void and just leave the 2 Anansi's in hand as well. Because, like, Border Control of Anoetic Void is probably better than that Anansi that I'm not going to res at 8 credits. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe going for the win efficiently is totally fine there. I don't know. Alright, we're going to play one game as Zaya because I think it's going to be fast. I'd like to cleanse the palate of thinking too hard. And then I think we're going to call it a night. But, I was told Burner's a bad card. Who told you? It did, I have to go back and watch the Botram Wu TIA Breakers tier list. I apparently caught some strays, so I look forward to watching that. But yeah, like, Burner's a fine card. I don't think Andre and I rated it worse than fine. Like, it's a role player card. I heard there was some spicy debate about Logjam. Look, Logjam is a card I philosophically hate, and I think was like a card I don't think I didn't like, a card that I would not print if I was in control of Netrunner. But I don't think the card's actually broken. I just don't like it philosophically. Like, it's bad, but it's like, if it's good, we're going to be so miserable. And it's like, you can play in decks where it's like actually solid, and it's like, it starts to get scary. I'll also say, Lost Geek saying, oh, I'd love in the AMA, I'm eternally a business as usual fan. Shipment for Kukuya, my child. Yeah, I do. So, I'm gonna probably get myself thrown in NSG jail. But for a long time, business as usual didn't say remove virus counters. It just said purge. And I kept banging my drum saying, you cannot do this to Eternal. Please don't do this to Eternal. I think and other reasons led to the change. But yeah, I thought that was, you know, I think beating Clot in a scoring window is a little, was always going to be a little bit too much. So removing virus, and it's funny how, like, removing virus counters was really relevant for like a hot second when you could play Nobkuri. I remember, I don't know what deck I was playing that would like put advancement counters down and remove virus counters off of like the Audrey or Nobkuris or stuff, but I feel like it was relevant there for like 2 seconds, and that was kind of cool. Yeah. Alright, well, if we don't get a game in a few minutes, I'll probably just call the stream. It's going to be slow on JNet, I think, until the lag I think the lag... Honestly, it feels like the lag reputation is worse than the actual thing. I also know, like, I got in the JNet devs thing. Like, they are actively working and trying to figure this out. And so I'm really optimistic that we're going to see progress on it. It's just a very odd problem. I think the undo click turned out to be a little bit of a mirage, but that's okay. That's the purpose of troubleshooting. And I think there'll be some attempts to fix other stuff. Quick question, Crim Code Gatebreaker, do we just go Shibboleth or do we go for something better? In this deck we're playing Shibboleth. Playing Unity I think is totally reasonable. I don't even hate Cat's Cradle in every situation. Fudge, I like so much this hand, but I don't. Can't keep it. Those are, I think, mostly your options. I mean, this just feels like a free Bravado on HQ. Hit me with that. Sure. Let's just run R&D as well. Yep, that's fine. Probably going to be a credit YDL, but I don't think I care. Oh, we're going to red level to play the YDL. Why didn't we draw... What are we doing with this last click here? Alright, we'll run server 1 here. I think I'm okay to trash this. Am I? Trashing that feels odd. I actually think it might be click for 4 here. I actually feel okay right now. If we see another YDL, I'll be a little sad, but... Sure gamble. Boomerang server 2. Bravado server 2. Yep, Tranquility can go. Last click class act. Okay, now we go something like Chesvy, Bioband casts. Okay, what do we put at the bottom here? Probably Docklands. Okay. Which is, do I want to Hermes the remote or HQ? I think it's... I think I want to be able to bounce HQ here. This is a Rashid. I'll be more than a little sad. Oof. Probably should have clicked for a credit. That's going to be very bad for me. Then we install Hermes for the last click, discard Class Act. I don't feel like I'm actually that worried yet. Like, this is probably a score. Draw. Cast seems fine here. Credit, gamble. Because I think the goal here is just to start raiding HQ. Oh, maybe HQ has nothing in it? That's interesting. But HQ probably does have nothing in it, which is good to know. So I could like just slam Carmen inside job here. Carmen is 1, 2, 3, 4. Credit. I think it's okay to let this one go. Paladin casts. This could be another draw here. Second inside job is interesting. Are we trying to score an Ikawa that's unadvanced, maybe? But we don't have threat text, so this is just trying to sudden commandment into maybe another YDL. I don't like any of the scores here for Sheafication. Just doesn't feel like it's... I don't know, I feel like I can get some value out of them. Seamless midnight into YDL next turn seems okay. Yeah, it probably is fine. I don't know that it's like a thing I mean, so now I actually could just go Carmen inside job because I have credits again. I guess I don't get to trash the Managarm here, but that's okay. They did not score a Luminal. That's very interesting. I don't know what they were thinking. I'm quite confused as to why they didn't score a Luminal. They could have done the exact same turn they did and had 2 points in their score area. We have the inside job play again. It's not as good now. I think I'm actually going to install a twinning using the Paladin bucks here. Oh. What is going on with my opponent's draw? I like really want to just like mutual favor, grab my Kurapira and start going. I guess I wonder if they're trying to like avoid ever. This is a very odd sequence. I don't mind getting 2 spin doctors for 1 here. Are they just very flooded? Is that the problem? Let's just draw again, and we'll discard it. Oh, Chivalrous is great. Chivalrous is fantastic here. Oh! This is actually not too bad. This is... Oh, this is pretty bad, actually. How flooded do I read them? And this, like, takes me down to nothing, right? So... I think if they want to tell me where the agendas are, I'm not going to say no. Right, there's 2 YDLs in the bin. I think this is kind of okay for me. If they put them back in R&D, I'll be alright. Yeah, they shuffled 2 agendas into R&D. Oh, I did kind of miss thing. Yeah, I mean, that being this might be bad here. Yeah, YDL played. Increasing the server 2. Next activation. Yeah, HQ does feel dense, and I'm like, I think I can probably still just swipe for 3 here. I don't think I install the Wake. Maybe I do. It's gonna let me see the entirety of R&D. Both of those are dead cards, okay. Actually, yeah, if I snipe an agenda, I get to bounce, so that's great. Pay to steal. Paladin, Hermes, steal. G. I mean, okay, so that was, you know, that's a bit of payback for our luck in the first game, where our opponent won on 4 unique cards, we won on 7 unique cards. Though I think we did a good job of contesting the remote here. I'm assuming that was off-world as well. Oh, this would actually have a nice sequence where we could, like, Hermes bounce, like, one of these. Or maybe even the Archives Ice, honestly. Sick. Wow, yeah. I want to quickly go and see how that played from their perspective. I'm a little surprised. So, if I'm them here and I get the YDL, I feel like I'm going +2 cards, +2 credits. 1 click left, play your digital life. I think trashing that Spin Doctor was actually a mistake. I think I could have... If I didn't trash the Spin Doctor, I don't have to do this very weird turn. Right? Or I, like, don't have any money. And I could have maybe looked at start doing, like, Shibboleth, Chesv, just, like, start hitting R&D. Just making $1 and see a card. So if I click for a credit here, like, I think this game just completely blows open, but... Okay, so they're installing Luminal here. So from my perspective, what is wrong with scoring this Luminal? Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with scoring this Luminal here. What do they accomplish instead? Spin Doctor, draw, install a Managarm, Install an ice on HQ. Or R&D, excuse me. And then they don't score it a second time. Did they just forget they had Luminal in the remote? Like, okay, so I won this game. I should not have won this game, or at least not in this way. They could have returned the Hermes bounce. Yeah, this is not a game where I got ahead in pressure. I wonder if I was supposed to not run the Gatekeeper. I don't know. It felt fine. It still kind of does. Also, like... I guess you'd have to have 50-50 cards in hand. But, like, you can... Oh, I guess with the Carmen out, there's actually not ice you're happy with in that hand. No, wait, hold on. No, your play here is play YDL for plus 10 credits. So you're at 20. You discard the next. This is a Hagen. I think you can discard one of these other things. Like, you discard one Drafter. You discard a Manic Arm. Right? So you have 11 cards in hand. What are the 6 you're keeping? You're probably... Maybe you're keeping at least 5 points. So you're at least keeping the Midnight and the Ikawa. Let's say you want to play conservatively and you want to keep Midnight, Ikawa, Midnight. Keep the Big Deal. That's 4 cards. Then you keep the Gatekeeper and the Seamless Launch. And that seems like a great hand. Because then when Tatu swaps, if assuming it does, right? Assuming I have a way to break the Tatu, you swap in the Tatu for a Gatekeeper. I can't run a second time. Maybe I steal the Ikawa. I guess maybe with a twinning you're a little bit scared. But, like, you're just giving me a whole turn here. Yeah, it feels like they're like a click behind on everything they want to do. Very interesting. Okay, well. Feels okay to go 3-1 with a loss to 4 accesses. Hope everyone's had a good time tuning in. I should be back at this time next week. Who knows? Friday, I think I'm home alone again because summer is travel hell. And so we might stream a little more. I might stream a little more Elden Ring if people want to tune in for that. I did beat Margit. Andre and I were I was playing it in between rounds at Cascadia, and so managed to get that kill. And I'm just kind of plunking around. But anyway, have a good night, everyone, and see y'all next week.